Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
I have a question for you. Why are you here? Now, I don't necessarily mean why you're listening, why you're watching, although I do believe there are no coincidences, and you probably have found us for a reason. Maybe you were doing a search or we just came up. It just happened that way. When I say, why are you here? I'm referring to what's your purpose in life? Why do you wake up every morning? What is your why? We're going to talk about that today. Finding the path to your purpose and ultimately a wonderful life. Once you do that, she helps people with this all the time. Her purpose is life coaching and so much more. Dawn Manderfeld, our professional of the year, is back with us. How are you?
It's a cold here in Minnesota, but the sun was shining and the grass is green. So you know what? It's good.
Hmm. Did you ever struggle with your purpose and your path?
I used to. I struggled with it a lot just because I had a lot of change in my life. I had a purpose and a plan, but then when life really happened, a lot was put on hold. A lot of it I had to change in some direction or form. And that's why I like to say at 57 years old, I am really happy where my life is right now. I'm
Hmm.
glad that I didn't give up.
When you
I guess
say
that's a
you
big thing.
giving up, was that giving up in terms of what was inside of you saying, go in this direction. This is the path you should go in. And of course, things come up in life. Um, you're presented with challenges in front of you, and you could give up, or you could just, turn the car of life. Is that what you're referring to?
Um, no, I always had that in my heart, and I was never willing to give up on it. Giving up on what, for me, I felt that as my life really changed in different directions and my reason for getting up every day really, really changed. So for me, I had a few times in my past that where I was physically, I was gonna have to give up
Okay.
because either the finances weren't there or my situation was in no way, shape, or form going to help me get there. And I remember always writing it down. Every time it came to my mind, I would write down what my plan, what it was, what I thought my purpose was, and what I really, truly desired to do with my natural talent. And I would write that down and I would just stick to it. And as I would have to move around, um, as I had to, as I lost my first marriage, lost babies, got married again. I was a single mom, a husband who was really sick. All of that changed
Mm,
how I had to go about getting where I wanted to be.
wow.
And there were days where I'm just like, okay, that may never happen, but don't ever give up on it. But right now, that is not even a possibility. So just put it on the side, walk away from it. I had to do that a lot.
Like, in your mind, going through so much in your mind, it sounds like don't even think about failing or quitting. Just take that and put that over here because that's not even an option.
It shouldn't be an option.
Hmm.
If you really have a strong desire and a purpose for what you really truly want to do, you do not have the option to write it out of your life. You don't. Put it on the side for a little bit, but keep it there in front of you on a vision board,
Mm,
on a little index card in your bathroom, in your bedroom, so
mm.
that you see what your desires and purposes and goals are, and that no matter what you're going through, keep it in front of your face. Giving up should never be an option for that.
Vision
You're never
board.
too old.
I want to go to vision board. I
Yep.
don't know if I shared this with you. Finally did one.
Oh, you did.
Finally did one. Took me years. Like I would think about it. I'm like, yeah, I'll get to that. I get to that. Then it was one point over the summer, last summer. I was on a train visiting my son in college, and I'm just sitting there and I'm saving photos online that pertain to things that I want or feel I deserve, right? And it was only until maybe like 3 weeks ago I made one, and it includes personal things I want, business related, and I put it all on one board. I have to tell you, it's like a magnet to your eyes. It's the freakiest, coolest thing. Like I'll just get right over there. I'll just glance over. I'm like, it's almost like, you are watching come in like like the perception people have with hypnotism, like come in, I've got you, you've got me. Um,
So I have a question for you. Did
go.
you already know what your purpose and plan was in your life? Did you know what you wanted to do and have you always been able to stay on that path?
Yes.
Like, did you know what your purpose was, your core strengths? Did you know what your passions were, your vision, what you generally enjoyed to do, your natural talents? Did you always know that?
For the most part, yes. Passion, knew what I wanted to do. The values and all of that kind of followed. I want to share this because I had an epiphany recently, and this kind of it was almost like it was meant to be in this way. I'll make it as short as possible. This is just last week. When I was like 9 years old, my parents got divorced when I was much younger. My dad worked in this like electrical plant. So I found a plans to build a radio transmitter in a magazine, black and white, by the way. Ripped it out, wrote him a letter, sent it to him, and he didn't build it. Now, I don't know if he even had the skills, but I'm thinking, you work in an electrical type plant. There's got to be an engineer over there that can help you. I'm a kid. What do I know? He didn't do it. And then, I kind of allude, Dad, did you get the plans for Yeah, I got them. Da, da, da. Never happened. It bothered me to the day. Like, I just asked for this littlest thing. I know it's all I really want. I really wanted that. I want to be on the radio. I thank him for not doing it. This is last week. I thank him for not doing it. Why? Because that gave me the push to learn electronics on my own, build my own stuff, built a mixer, did all of that so that I could make tapes up. And eventually somebody took a tape out of my pocket, submitted it, and I got my first job. I didn't even have a driver's license. And back then I knew what I wanted to do. And halfway through, I quit radio. And I was looking for, yeah, let me do a job. I want to do something for the community. I want to, I don't know, work in a hospital, maybe director of external affairs or something like that. Not really qualified, but I want to do something different. And somebody said, duh, you want to help the community. That's what you're doing when you're broadcasting. Hello. And I'm like, oh. And then I was only out of radio for maybe like 5 months and I got right back into it. But it has always been the same thing I've done. And by the way, every piece of equipment in this studio, I'm in an office building. Everything here I wired. I could have hired somebody, bring them in. Every damn wire here I did myself. Why? Because I enjoy it and I love it. So I don't, it's hard for me to understand other people not knowing their purpose because I always knew mine. So I try to understand the other side of it, if that makes sense.
Well, you can build me the same things. I can give you my address, send it to my business place. I would be very grateful. This podcasting stuff is amazing. I am thoroughly enjoying it.
And you're great at it and you provide so much insight and information. Validation and just for the rest of us to look at things in a different way. Instant feedback, Steve@gmail.com. I think we have somebody. Hi, can you hear us?
Oh yeah. Hello. I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. How's it going?
It's going well. Who's this?
This is Brian. Actually, I had like two questions, if that's fine. So I'm kind of having trouble like finding my purpose. I wanted to know if you guys had like any tips for someone like me trying to find my purpose.
Can you hear
Um,
me?
he was cutting out. He was wondering if we could help him find his
I
fit.
can repeat it again. So I've just been like having some trouble finding my purpose, and I wanted to know like any tips you guys have for someone like me.
Okay, well, first off, nice to meet you. My name is Dawn, and what are what are some things that you thoroughly have a passion about and that you enjoy doing?
Well, I'd say I kind of like to work with children. Like, I have a few younger siblings, and I think I've done like fairly well with that. I've been watching them ever since I was like at a younger age. So maybe something in that field or educational. I'm not sure yet.
Okay, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 26 right now.
Okay, have you gone to school for any types of training? What are you doing at the moment?
No, I've just graduated. Well, I've graduated from high school, and since then I've just been working like daycares or I've kind of switched around.
Well, you know, a really big area of a place where it would be great for you to start. Is it Ryan or Brian?
Brian.
Ryan. Start volunteering.
Hmm.
Volunteering for boys club, girls clubs, if you have them, and start getting that under your belt. And once you start doing that, if you go online, you can find classes and training that are very minimal price-wise, and sometimes you can even get them for free. But
Mm.
just start taking, you know, start volunteering, start start putting down on paper what it is, why you enjoy doing what you're doing, so that you can give yourself a purpose for it. And then after you do that, then do a vision board. Like if you want to be a teacher, if you want to do a daycare, you can do a daycare in your home. And all you have to do is have your home inspected. You know, if you have the opportunity to do that, if you want to do something on your own for you to be able to provide for yourself, I would seriously look into having your own daycare if you have a home that you can do it in, or if you can work something like that out. Because then you're not only educating them, you're teaching them, you're working with them. You can do preschool programs with them that you don't have to qualify for. And yeah, I actually used to do that.
Wow.
And
Oh,
I absolutely loved it.
yeah,
Very
that's
cool.
cool. Daycare would be like a dream come true, honestly. So thanks for your insight. Be noted to take down some tips and work on that. Appreciate it.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah, well, thank you for
Thank you
calling.
guys.
Thanks and good luck. Wow. Are you a career counselor too? Life coach, career counselor? And what are the
I
two?
actually do. No, I do consulting for people if they're not really sure what career to go into.
Wow.
And I'm trying to get more of the word out about that because there's so many kids nowadays that literally have like three directions they want to go in. And just even if they gave me an hour just to sit with them and work with them, it's pretty amazing what you can decide in that hour with the
We've
right questions and writing it down.
we've talked about this before, and I forget how it came up, but right away you were right on top of it. You know, suggestions and the direction and all of that, and volunteering. When I shared my story, the one thing I did leave out was I volunteered at a cable TV station, and I
Oh,
was operating the camera. I was playing with the equipment. I was like 11th grade. By the time 12th grade came along, remember I said somebody took the tape that I mixed up out of my
yep.
pocket? That's where it happened.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was the general manager of the cable station, also worked part-time at a radio station, and he got me the job. I had no confidence. I'm a kid. He used to call me Pipes because of my
Yeah.
voice, I guess, whatever. And he's the one that got me a job. And then he left that station for another one, the big one, part-time. He's worked on weekends, and then I followed him. So yeah, volunteering. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
Probably wouldn't be
volunteering
here.
is huge. You
Yeah.
know, 'cause I mean, when I was younger, I had so many things I liked to do, but one thing that I found early on is that I was, it was so natural for me to help my friends through some tough situations, to be able to calm them down and to bring them peace. But yet I love children. So when I started having my own kids, I wanted to raise them. And what was the best way to do that? Have my own daycare. You know, we made it possible, did that so that I could have my kids home the whole time they were little. They never went to daycare. Then it was like, oh, they're all getting older. Let's do preschool. So then I would do the preschool, which led me into homeschooling. And all during that time, I was still working on classes and training to do what I am doing now. But a lot of that is when you find what you are naturally drawn to. it doesn't become a chore getting where you want to be.
You're reading my mind because I wanted to ask you how you know when you're in your purpose, when you've discovered your purpose, it's there, you're doing it. Maybe you're not 100% sure, but how do you know?
You are completely at peace. It really brings you back to peace. And when things come up, when you're in your purpose and situations come up, it's just easier to work through them. And somehow things make sense quicker
Hmm.
when you have found your purpose and that you know that you're doing what you want to do. Because a lot of people say, if you're doing what your purpose and passion is, it's not like a job. It's just something that you're willing to go to every day because you thoroughly enjoy it.
Doesn't feel like work. They all say that.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of times it doesn't. Like with what I do, even though I do a few different things, it doesn't feel like work because I truly believe I'm making a difference. And it's something that I'm naturally good at. I don't have to work at it,
Right. Right.
you know? It just is like, this is what I love to do. This is what I enjoy. And everything just works its way out better.
Effortless. It's just
Yeah.
like they said, the pieces fall where they should fall.
Yeah.
And that piece of not even, don't have to try hard. Doesn't mean that you're not trying hard, but you don't have to because it just comes, I guess, naturally.
Yeah.
And what you said, Brian, on the phone, writing it down, right? I had a flash in my mind as soon as you said that, because I think a lot of us get confused. You know, we're thinking about this, we're thinking about that, squirrel brain, so many different things going on, swirling around in our mind. But to write down what you enjoy, what you like, it seems like he has a really good idea.
He
What?
does. And that was what was cool.
Hmm.
And there are a lot more men that literally are awesome at working with kids and do have daycares. I know daddy daycares. I know there's a movie, but there
Hmm.
literally are dads that are the stay home person with the kids and they're doing a daycare and they're wonderful at it. It doesn't have to be a female,
Sure. Yeah.
and that's what I try to encourage other, guys and men to know that, hey, if that's your passion, show it, do it, try it, build character. Let the families that interview you come in and just see who you really are. I know it can be harder for them, but hey, they're very successful.
Yeah. And look back 20 years, 25, whatever. How many male nurses were there? Sadly,
Hardly
not that
any.
many.
And
Now,
now they're everywhere.
right, exactly right. Yeah. So you used the word passion a moment ago. Is passion the same thing as purpose?
You really can't have a purpose without passion, but you can have passion without a purpose. Passion is just like if you passionately love a dog, you can have them in your home, you can raise them or, do that type of thing, but it doesn't mean it's your purpose to have a dog kennel or to have a dog, numerous dogs, and you raise puppies and sell them and make it a business. You can have a passion for animals, but it doesn't mean that your purpose is to literally work with them, shelter them, do stuff for them. So if you have a purpose in something, it's passion driven. Do you understand? Am I making any sense?
I'm trying to process that. So I love the animal analogy. Love animals. Let's say somebody does. Loves caring for them, has advice for them. Maybe they groom them on the side. I just love doing it. I love clipping their nails. My friends bringing their pets over. I just love doing it. Why would that not potentially be their purpose?
Because they enjoy doing it on their time. They would not want it to be a full-time job.
Okay.
They would not want to have a place where they have to fit in people and set up schedules. They enjoy them. And like with people who cook, I know so many people who have the passion, they just love cooking and trying new dishes and everything. but they would never have the purpose to become a chef.
How do you
Or,
know until you know? Like, for
yeah,
example, back to the dog pet situation, whatever it is. Um, how would you not know unless you tried it, or maybe that's what you said, the volunteering, volunteer at an animal shelter. See if you like doing
yeah.
that a lot. Hmm.
Well, that is a good question, and I'm trying to figure out how to answer it the best way that I can. I love dogs. I have a hard time seeing, animals being abused or whatever. Um, and part of me is just like, oh, I just want to take them all in. I want to heal them. I want to love on them. I want them to be the happiest animals in the whole wide world. But deep down, I don't have a purpose to literally want to do that all the time.
Hmm.
It is just something that comes and goes in my mind. I see one, all of a sudden, I have a passion to take care of them, but I don't have the passion to make it a job or a business. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. It's the only part I'm foggy on is how are you going to know? Like you can search within and might get that answer right away. Oh,
Yeah.
hell no. I don't want to be, all day. It's fun. It's fun grooming my family and friends' dogs. I enjoy it. You might know right away, but what about if you're not 100% sure? Like you're on the fence whether that's what you want to do full time. It feels good, but you're not sure. Is that where maybe the volunteering comes in so you can get a better feel?
Yeah, I was gonna say then I would volunteer. And when you volunteer, don't do it just on a once a month, twice a month. Volunteer every week. So you can see what it is being constantly in it and consistently in it. I always thought it would be fun to be an administrative, person in a big company, you know, answering the phones, doing all the paperwork, keeping everything organized. I did it. It was not the job for me
Mm,
because I couldn't organize it the way my brain wanted it to work. And I got to the point where the phone system became overwhelming. And even right now, I do not like to be on my phone. I have a hard time just sitting and talking on my phone. But then I used to stutter too when I was younger. And when all the phone calls would keep coming in, my stuttering would get worse.
oh yeah, stress.
And I'm just
Sure.
like,
Mm,
this is not, this is not something that I am enjoying at all. Like, this is not good, you know? And so I did it, gave my notice, and went, okay, well, I know for sure that's not what I want. I
mm,
like it, but I want to do it for myself. I don't want to do it for someone else. So by trying it, I realized that learning that helped me still reach the goal of what I thought my purpose and plan was, because I did learn a lot through it,
mm.
but then I learned what I did not want to do through it.
You're like the mirror because I just got another epiphany of what solidified my purpose. And I'm sure I volunteered at a cable station, but that was sort of broadcasting, sure. Um, when I was in 11th grade, I won the amateur hour on a local radio station, 11 o'clock on a Sunday night. And, my mom drove me out there, the middle of nowhere the studio was, and loved it, was nervous. They didn't let me touch the equipment. That was their rule. I'm like, what? I want to mix. I want to do this. I want to cue records. I want to allow you. But now that I think back to it, that was kind of the, bing, that's what I want to do. I was in a
Yep.
radio studio. I was actually there. Call it, I volunteered for an hour, whatever you want to call it. But that was kind of the kick in the pants of, yes, that's it. So the volunteer thing, I think is, or some intern, whatever, or just be exposed to it so you can get a feel for it on a more regular basis. Um, just
Yeah.
if you're on the
And I
fence.
think for me, I would have probably enjoyed it more if I could have organized my office and organized how to do things my way, like
Mm,
how my brain works, instead of how they wanted things run. It just slowed things down. It made more steps that you had to do to get to where you wanted to be.
yep.
And so for me, it was just like, it was a constant like brain ache, like, oh, this would be so much more efficient. And even though I would bring it up, they would always say, but we've done it this way for years and we're not changing it now.
Mm,
And so you know,
That
like I
wasn't
said,
you.
I learned a lot, but it just didn't work for me. And I'm not saying they were doing anything wrong, but they never allowed the administrative person to say, hey, this would work better, that would work better. Could we just try it?
Yep.
It was always like shut down, like, no, this is how we do it. And we're not changing it. Okay.
Well,
You know?
here's the difference. You wanted to dive in to the water, and they just wanted you to put your toe in, and that wasn't
Yeah.
you because you're either all in or you're not,
Yeah.
and you wanted to be all in. Um, we're just about out of time. Livingbb.org is how we reach you. And by the way, the BB is beautifully broken, livingbeautifully.broken.org. Insight, somebody's looking for coaching, trying to figure out their purpose. Many of us are. It's all there. Thank you so much for being here today. And all of these podcasts,
Yeah.
I've learned so much. Wonderful, wonderful. It's just exploring, things that we deal with and wonder about.
Well, thank you so much for working with me and having me. And if anyone else has any questions, they can also reach me at 952-200-1103 or Don Renee at livingbb.org.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
You too. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.